welcome, this is DVH1 back in another video. As you can see from that intro, I am now starting with those intros in front of my videos. Funny enough, and this is of course my 81st video, and yes, I'm bringing you another NXT review for the 8th of April 2015. Let's get on and start with the video. Just a little disclosure, disclaimer before I start this video. Basically, with these new videos, I'm gonna, for my NXT reviews or different reviews, I'm gonna do pros and cons of the episode. So I'm gonna go through pros, cons, but basically, let's go through what happened. So we got a tournament, and of course, one of the cons I think of this tournament was because it was for the Wrestlemania, and we already knew who was gonna win. It was Hideo Itami. Basically, a journey for Hideo Itami from whatever. We'll get to that later, but then again, one of the cons here is that we knew who was going to win this one. Of course, Hideo Itami won and went on to WrestleMania, where he competed in that Battle Royale, and we all knew what was going to happen. And so this one was, obviously, we know that NXT are taped, but this one kind of made an impact because we sort of knew the outcome from the start. But, again, it's good because then you get to see how we got there, and I guess it does take away, and for me, and I think for anyone, a lot of the excitement when you know who's going to come out top. Anyway, even though we already know, NXT is of course taped in a while back, but this one, it took away a little bit. One of the pros I'm going to give it is definitely it was in WrestleMania Access. It was nice in San Jose, I think, and yeah. It was a nice crowd there, and it got a good atmosphere. It's nice to get something different, and it makes, again, as I said with the one from what that other place was, it does give it a little bit of international feel about it. It makes it feel big, NXT going live from a few different places around America, and hopefully we can get that going. And yes, it's fun to see it at WrestleMania. I know I said last week that was for the WrestleMania week, but again, I guess this is more of it, even though it should have been on really last week. It's kind of strange it wasn't on last week or the week before that, because, well, obviously, it should have been on last week. I don't know why. Anyway, right. It was a tournament featuring, let me list the names off my head. I can remember Baron Corbin, Bull Dempsey, who else? Tyler Breeze, Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, who of course won, Adrian Neville, and two others I cannot put my finger on. Oh, Kalisto and someone else, really. Anyway, our first round, we got a little tiny bit of a recap on those. For me, it didn't go into enough detail on that. This is sort of a con there. It should have gone a bit more detail on that. It really sort of took away from me the fact that we didn't get to see much of those battles, see how they got through. But anyway, we saw the semi-final matches, with the first one being Hideo Itami versus Adrian Neville. Now let me talk about this one. It was quite a great match, in my opinion. Firstly, of course, Hideo Itami was a little bit softer in this one. I'm not saying softer in a bad way, but he definitely took his time here, and Adrian Neville definitely looked a lot more, determined, but not really determined. He looked very, what can I say, angry, and yeah, we were told a good story here. Hideo Itami comes out on top, and funny enough, it was a pretty swift match. So it ended with a drop kick, I'm pretty sure, yeah, and that was it. And Hideo Itami got the pin, and it was a quick one. And yes, it definitely does solidify some of Hideo Itami's, what can I say, his stature in the WWE NXT. And really, that puts him in a high spot, because he got a major win there, and I think it's his, coming off of another win, I think. No, sorry, a loss against Tyler Breeze. But really, it does cement himself up with one of the the longest reigning NXT champion. He comes out on top. It's great for him, and definitely, I'm going to put it down here, he's definitely going to be a future NXT champion, in my opinion. Right. Our second match was Finn Balor versus Tyler Breeze in a semi-finals match. This match actually in my opinion, even got a bit better than the last match, and this one like sort of trumped it, in my opinion. Right, Finn Balor wins this one, and that was cool. I wanted to see that him win, and the match, yeah, it was great. It felt quite fast, compared to the last one, which was sort of got a little bit slow off the starting blocks. This one got right into it, and Finn Balor is crazy enough to go for a very long double foot stomp, coup de grace, and it was amazing. And you know, he hit it 1, 2, 3. It was such a good ending to that match, and you know, he just nailed the move at the end. So that's a definitely good pro. Is Finn Balor's amazing in-ring work, which goes into the next match, because it was definitely a good rematch. It was Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, what you know, in the final, and what can I say? It was a pretty intensely amazing match. This is definitely a pro. One of my favourite matches in recent times in NXT, because it was just, there was a lot of emotion in it, and you know, these guys definitely wanted it. It's like when you put a big prize in front of the two guys, they want it even more. It feels like there was more on the line, and yeah, like Finn Balor's match last week with Owens, it was like that. It was big, it was bold, and it was great atmosphere, and you knew there was a lot on the line with this one. So Itami does come on top. It was something to be seen and something to behold. It was one of those matches that every detail was solidified. It was technical. It started out great, and once it was into it, we could the amount of swiftness to it. It felt nice and clear, and you know, it worked like on many levels. And the finish was a nice, quick ending into a kick, I think, or something. Whatever the finish was, it was good. And 1, 2, 3, and Hideo Itami, I feel good for him. And you know, as I said before, it solidifies him a very certain place in NXT, a future champion, if not, yeah, definitely a future NXT champion. You know, he did it well, and it was believable, and the two pulled off one of my favourite matches in recent memory. You know, it just shows the Wrestlemania axis could be great, and it definitely was tonight. After this, we were seeing a little video package, which is basically a bit of Hideo Itami's road to Wrestlemania, as they would say, in his Andre Giant Battle Royale, which he qualified for. And yes, it was quite well done. It was a good edit, and it felt like a little bit documentary sort of thing, from Japan all the way through to WrestleMania. I mean, it wasn't giving away too much on, you know, you could see a little bit into his mind of things, like they do with a lot of these documentaries. It kind of reminded me of the Finn Balor one I did a review on, which you can check out on my channel. Yeah, you can see a bit of emotion there with him, and yeah, and we saw him go into the match, and of course get knocked out, but you know, he's definitely got respected person, a great superstar in Japan, one of the most iconic superstars in Japan of all time, and yeah, he was pretty much made. Triple H there said he won. You know, I think it's kind of obvious that he's going to be big, and you know, this sort of made him. WrestleMania 31 kind of solidified his place in NXT, and you know, there's only really one way up for him. I don't know. I don't think they're going to let the ball down on him now. So pro is Hideo Itami, probably, possibly, certainly, in my opinion, getting pushed right after this. I put my money on it that after this event, he is going up and up, and his title shots are going to come soon. And you know, I want NXT to put him into a rivalry, and you know, they could do this wrong, but a con would definitely be not using this to do something with them proper. And on NXT, I actually kind of trust Triple H to do something, a good rivalry out of this, and we need to see that stuff in NXT. We don't want to see him just go into normal matches. I mean, his Breeze rivalry was alright, but I feel like he could do more after that. I mean, Bree's come to his rivalry a little bit, but I wanted to move on. Maybe even get into working with Balor a bit more. There's stuff they can do there that I think is good, because they've had a one win each, and well, you can go from there then, can't you? Balor's got his one win, Itami's got his one win. You can have a good few matches out of that, and so that's cool to do. And I think that's one way they can go, and there's a few different options for Itami from now on. So, for me, it's not just one superstar being solidified or shown out in a showcase sort of manner, but two. You got Balor and you've got Itami, and they were equally shown. And I don't think that anything was taken away from both of them. They were definitely in their best light, and maybe if Triple H decides to put his money on it, we could see at least one of these getting pushed to the moon in NXT, and put my money on it. One of these guys is going to be NXT champion by the end of the year. So thank you guys for watching. This has been me. It was in my opinion, a great show. Not really for the matches, but yes, the matches were amazing. We've also got stuff like an insight into WrestleMania with Hideo Itami, and so that made me very, very memorable indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and say a great, memorable NXT, and something different from the usual that we usually get. So thank you guys once again. Make sure to comment below your opinions on this NXT episode, and also like, favorite, subscribe, and do all the stuff you can do to support me, and leave your opinions on future videos and your opinions on this week of NXT. See you guys next time. Enjoy.